What's it like for 6ix9ine inside prison?
6ix9ine has been skating on thin ice since being put on probation in October, and this arrest could very well mean jail time for him.
Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. For months now, the rapper known as 6ix9ine has been in prison for crimes that he and others have committed, and so slowly but surely the prison life has been put upon him, and he's been changed as a result. But what exactly is it like inside prison? Be sure to like the video and subscribe to King Trending. Number 5. The arrest of 6ix9ine.
And a gang member who recently pled guilty to 9 felonies and is facing 47 years in prison.
Everything that has happened to 6ix9ine so far in jail can be attributed to a string of bad decisions on his part. 6ix9ine has a history of breaking the law in various ways, but rarely got him in trouble in the long term. But on November 18th, 2018, he got arrested on very serious charges. Of these charges that were put on him included racketeering, conspiracy, and much more. These were not just serious charges, they were federal charges, and some of them were actually felony charges, which carry with them a much heavier penalty.
The 23rd, he's pleading guilty to multiple counts of racketeering, conspiracy, firearms offenses.
6ix9ine wasn't alone in his arrest at the hands of the FBI though. Gafana Shadi Jordan, Jamal Melmurda Jones, Jenselish Butler, Fugan Fubana Lovick, and Fahim Crippy Walters were all part of a group that was running numerous operations in many boroughs of New York. They were committing numerous crimes to ensure their territory and dominance. The goal was to both expand the territory of the group and make a big profit as a result. This is where the racketeering charge came in, and it was one of the charges that loomed large over 6ix9ine. For this particular instance, 6ix9ine and his crew were selling illicit substances and other things all over New York City. Eventually, these activities got the attention of the FBI, who is someone you never want to have look at you. They realized that 6ix9ine was not only working for a notorious group, but he was their key at getting at them in their operations. Over the course of several months, they worked on putting a case against 6ix9ine, and they succeeded, leading to the November arrest. 6ix9ine was also charged with carrying a firearm for the use in maintaining his illegal business. This was one of the conspiracy charges, as the firearm was used in many violent affairs, or for intimidation, both of which are punishable. It should be noted that 6ix9ine was not charged with taking someone's life, and if that was the case, 6ix9ine would have actually been in even bigger trouble, but thankfully for him, that wasn't the case. However, the act of almost taking a life or threatening to take a life with a firearm is just as bad. Members and associates of the enterprise promoted and celebrated the criminal conduct of the enterprise, namely narcotics distribution, acts involving violence, and the use of firearms in music and on social media, the indictment reads. The purpose of the enterprise included preserving and protecting the power, territory, and profits of the enterprise through acts involving taking out a rival and threats of violence. The situation as it unfolded in front of 6ix9ine was very dire. These were federal charges imposed by a federal authority. Unlike his previous illegal actions, there was very little wiggle room to use and try to get out of all of it. In fact, the 2 charges carried life sentences if he were to be openly convicted of them. 6ix9ine was in a very tight spot. He was in jail and he wasn't going to make bail because of the charges. And just as bad, he was already in an area where there were a lot of hostile forces. So he had to think of a way to get out, or at the very least, stay safe. And that's what led him in February 2019 to openly cooperate with the FBI. Yeah, 6ix9ine became a snitch. Number 4. Snitch.
Out, and in exchange, they're not going to prosecute, and he's not going to do any time, and he's going to walk. That's all false.
Now on the outside, it may seem like taking a plea deal in the case of 6ix9ine is smart. After all, he did some bad things, and he's clearly of value to the FBI, and by that token, he could get a much lesser sentence for cooperating. And objectively, you are right. Taking a plea deal is smart in regards to getting a lower sentence, but it came at a cost of his trust, loyalty, and arguably most important to 6ix9ine's mind, his image. And what do I mean by that? Well, 6ix9ine proclaimed that he was part of a group called the Trey Nines, and this was part of the reason that he was arrested. He's saying a lot about his connection to the group, but just as importantly, he would sing all the time that he was tough, like hardcore tough, you know? So he kept singing and bragging and calling himself the King of New York, and then he became a snitch. I'm pretty sure I don't have to tell you how serious of an offense this is to being a snitch to a group like the Trey Nines. Loyalty is everything to these kind of groups. 6ix9ine basically told the world that he's willing to do anything to protect his own skin, including ratting out on his own crew. You might be thinking, well, he doesn't have to rat them out that much. He could have just done enough to get out of prison. Well, wishful thinking. But that's not exactly how it all went down. The terms of the agreement were very clear. First off, the plea deal had him turn over the evidence that could help prosecute the guys that were also arrested alongside 6ix9ine. The very same people who 6ix9ine once called his little own crew and friends, and of course, his loyalty to them is a bit suspect. Because a few weeks before the mass arrest, 6ix9ine actually fired everyone in his crew, even his manager. Plus, the FBI got word that they were given orders to teach 6ix9ine a lesson on behalf of the Trey Nines, which goes to show that loyalty was not in large supply there. Still, he could have proven how loyal he was by staying silent, yet that didn't happen. Any doubt that he wasn't part of the group was soon washed away as well. There were many who weren't sure just how serious of a member he was. Well, apparently he knew a lot, because he confessed to crimes that the FBI knew about, and also talked about the ones that they didn't know about, allowing them to probe the group even more and to make some very key arrests. So if you're keeping score, that means he not only just betrayed his former roadmates, but the main core group members of the Trey Nines, all because he wanted a lesser prison sentence. How much of a lesser prison sentence is truly unknown, but a lot of people aren't happy that 6ix9ine did this, both inside of prison and out, especially since at the time of this posting, over half of the members of the group that 6ix9ine was arrested with have either pleaded guilty or taken deals of their own to get out of their jail time. However, despite all of that, none of them have actually snitched, just 6ix9ine, which again shows the value of loyalty and the word of your bond. 6ix9ine cares about himself and himself alone, and it's being shown in full force right now, which brings us now to the fact that he is branded. In the world, being a snitch is a mark that you'll have to carry wherever you go, and no matter what you say or try to explain, the mark of a snitch is one that will never be taken away. Even if he gets out of prison, he's a snitch who got others put in jail for a long time. Plus, it also proves that 6ix9ine is a liar and a fraud. He keeps on shouting to the world how much of a tough guy he was, and yet he folded mere months into his prison sentence. Yeah, not so tough now, huh? And his fears no doubt got deepened when he stepped into the new prison where he'd have his life for a while. Number 3, the prison itself. If you're curious about the prison itself that 6ix9ine has found himself in, well, he's currently locked inside Brooklyn's MDC. This prison is known for having a wide variety of violent or high-risk inmates, and that has been proven to be the case not just via the inmates itself, but also what happens inside the prison. There's footage of fights happening, riots being suppressed, and all sorts of other things. Others who have described the prison note that it's a rough, grim, and lacking in things that make a prison more bearable. This might not be something you care about though, as prison isn't supposed to be nice, especially to those who have done terrible things like 6ix9ine. Granted, there are some things in there that are available for inmates to use. There's a recreation area, and sources from within court sessions have said that 6ix9ine has been working out and has gained some muscle mass as a result. But it's also not exactly a good place for 6ix9ine because there are threats everywhere, and he has to take steps in order to make sure that he got the best treatment that he possibly could under his circumstances, and the circumstances that are, again, 100% his fault. Number 2, prison from within, and the dangers it brings.
Today, and it says here confirmed 6ix9ine beat up in jail, and it says here 6ix9ine gets jumped by gang members in jail.
There's a lot of reasons 6ix9ine did what he did in regards to the plea deal, but there's no doubt that a big reason of it was fear. Fear for what other inmates might do to him if they were given the right orders by the right people. He didn't feel safe in the general population section of the prison that he was put into at first because of the people that were in there. So after appealing to the judge, he was put in the non-violent wing of the prison, one that isn't filled with people loyal to the group that he was with or ticked off, nor have they shown any indication of major violence. Granted, that also means that he's isolated for people who likely can help him if he gets in a pinch, but you also have to take the risk where you can in order to stay safe, especially when he'll be in prison for a while. Remember, he's still in prison, and he has been since November of 2018, and he hasn't been officially sentenced yet despite pleading guilty to kick off his plea deal, and as of yet, he's not set to be sentenced until January of 2020. Now, he does have some assurances, because he's been quite cooperative with the FBI, giving them the information that they need to take down his former associates and other members of the Trey Nines. They're obligated to keep him safe. Not to mention they'll keep him safe out of self-interest so that they can get more convictions out of him, but that also means inside the prison, he's going to need to be restricted, have to be in certain areas that other groups can't reach him from. He'll need to be protected constantly, and it's not an ideal situation, and yet it's the one that he put himself in. And for those thinking that he'll get out soon and everything will be better, well, not so much. Number 1, the threats outside of prison.
Sentencing a motion for a sentence below any mandatory minimum, the plea deal reads. 6ix9ine is also eligible for witness protection.
The truth is, just because he gets out of prison doesn't mean he'll be any safer, because while there are clear and present threats in prison, there are also some waiting for him outside of it, and he knows that every single one of them are out there right now. Mainly, there's the Trey Nines, who are not going to be happy that the snitch who got their fellow members in prison is going to walk out free with just like a slap of the wrist. It's very plausible that they'll come after him for what he did. This is actually why, as part of his plea deal, he was promised protection by the government in regards to witness protection. This means he's literally so afraid of what's inside prison and what's waiting for him outside of prison that he wants to have a new life. An entire new life. A bold move and one with consequences of its own. But it may be the best option given that's all out there. And of course, he does have the right to reject witness protection, but that's not advisable. Mainly because if he does reject it, that means the FBI and other agencies are allowed to just let him walk without fear of backlash on them for not holding off to their end of the deal. So he'll literally have himself and his friends to count on. But 6ix9ine is also now a snitch, and he's going to find that the rap community is not going to be very kind to him. Sure, some will still be friendly, but others have gone on record and said that he's dead pretty much to much of the community. opportunity. And if they won't help him, that just makes it even easier for the Trey 9s to get some payback should they decide to go forward right away. And so there's your breakdown of what 6ix9ine has to deal with in prison, as well as a glimpse as to what might happen should he get out. So who do you think 6ix9ine has to fear the most in prison? Also, will he get out soon? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on King Trending. A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.